Hello everyone, welcome to round number 7 of the TATA Steel Chess Masters 2023. We have now crossed the halfway mark of the tournament, and we have Steel, the leader of the tournament. Nodirbek is building on his lead after winning against Arjun Erigaisi of India. It was a faultless game by Nodirbek. His confidence is growing day by day. And this guy is a future challenger to the World Championship. I mean, beating Magnus a few days back, it shows the kind of chess player he is. So let's take a look at the game by Nodirbek. I just started with e4, e5, knight f3, knight f6. A solid approach, the Petrov, the Russian game. So d4 here. Okay, one way of playing the Petrov is, of course, knight takes e5 and d6, knight f6, knight takes e4. d4 and then d5, right? Or you could also go for knight c3, takes on c3, takes on c3, bishop into e7, bishop d3, knight goes to d7, so bishop goes to e3, castles. You can go queen d2 and castle queen side. Yep. So that's one way of playing Petrov. If you want like what Magnus has played in this game against Rapport, you can go for like queen e2 and queen e7. Yeah. All right, that would be equal. But Arjun goes for a fight. Yeah, he went for d4. All right, knight takes e4, takes on e5, d5. Here, if let's say white goes for the en passant, and then just bishop takes d6, bishop d3. This is also a playable game. Knight c5, the bishop goes to d2. You can do castles and just castles. Equal game. Arjun went for knight bd2, knight takes d2, bishop takes d2, bishop into e7, bishop d3, c5, okay, c3, knight e2, c6, castles, bishop g4, right? If white, let's say, stops the pin on g4, then the bishop will just stay in e6. And this is also playable, I guess, and then castles and queen to c7. And probably here, black would go for castle queen side. Yeah, some h6 g5 ideas later for black, yeah. All right, so castles, bishop into g4 or q1 castles. Previously, queen d7 was played. Caruana played this one. Wesley So was also playing this as white against Yang Yi in the FIDE Grand Prix in Jerusalem about 4 years ago. Yeah. And Wesley won that game as white against Yu Yang Yi from China. Okay, here's a game by Grishchuk and Caruana. Caruana was black in this game. It was h3, bishop into h5, bishop into f4, and queen e6. Okay, that was the previous game. But this time, Nodirbek went for castles. h6. I'm sure he also knew about that queen d7. I mean, this elite, they're well prepared. For sure, he says it's fine to play this bishop on g6, yeah? This was Nodirbek's plan. Put the bishop on g6, king stays on h8, okay. So queen into c2, there's no more pin on the rook to the e2 queen, so black goes d8. And Nodirbek keeps finding counterplay. What a counterplay, yes? The resources. This move, rook to d8 and a6, is just so good, yeah. This is a sign of a strong player. Finding only moves, yeah? And the only counterplay. If not, then white will just dominate the game. And it's a strong attack on the king side, yeah, without any counterplay for black. So takes on d4, takes on d4. Queen to b3, d3. That was the point, yeah? The bishop there, the queen there, and the rook. Nice tree. All right, the old oak tree. h5, bishop takes f5, d takes f5, and knight e4. All right, line for the queen. The rook centralized. Amazing. Okay, let's have queen takes d3, for example, here, knight e2, careful. Because if you play queen takes e2, I will capture that queen, and I win the exchange and the game. So only move is to take that knight. But now I activate this rook. This king is vulnerable. Yes, sir. Bishop g3 and another good move, d2. Rook into e3, queen h6. And here Arjun blinked. Okay, it's a very complicated game. This king is so safe. This king is so open for attack. And look at that pawn. One step away from promoting. At the same time, it controls c1 and d1, where you could put your rook, let's say, on c8 to c1 or e4 to 1. Yeah. That's a hook. The potential hook on d2. So after queen h6, queen takes b7 is just, I think this is the final mistake of the game. White should at least get rid of that pawn, yeah, with rook d3. Although black still has the edge with takes, v8, and queen takes. But here, this is a much better version of the game. Maybe white could go for queen d5, centralizing queen with this light square. Yes, control of the light squares. Black is forced to go h5 here because the back rank is weak. And you could go queen takes b7. Yeah. And creating chances for white. White is okay here compared to what happened with queen takes b7. I guess it's game over. Queen b7 is game over. You have that pressure on d2, the pressure on the king, the mounting pressure on the king. Nice move, bishop g5 after rook c3, queen takes h5. Okay, white was hoping for rook c8, but the queen is attacking d1 at the moment. So the queen has to move back to f3. Queen h3 was played, although black could also go for queen takes f3 here, simplifying the position after rook takes. Just rook e4, threatening rook e1, you go king f1, you go rook c8, threatening rook c1, force rook c3, takes, and then h5. I think this is a simpler version with h4 coming up. Which is still waiting for black here. These are hanging pawns. And look at this also, target later on. But Nodirbek wants to keep his queen, which is also good. It's attacking f5, by the way. Sorry. Hanging f5. Bishop h2, rook g4, rook g3, and h6. Okay, king safety, Luft. Luft on h7 before anything else. Before you go for the final execution, make sure that your king is safe. Queen into g2, queen h5, keeping the queen and target on d1, pressure on that rook. f3, blocking that threat on the rook, but rook b4. Bishop h4, nice one. Let's take a look at bishop takes. Of course, bishop takes runs into rook takes h4. If you go queen to g2, it's queen takes f5. That's too much. Okay, you can take that pawn on d2, but rook h5, rook g5, how do you stop your king is so vulnerable. And not so easy for white to play here. So white decided to go king f1, moving away from that open, the semi-open g file. At least he has a pawn shield on f3 here. But rook to d8. And another good fight. Oh my god, this Nodirbek is just so resourceful. Rook e4, all right, taking advantage of that pin on d1. f6, that's desperado. Takes, after queen h3, rook f4, bishop takes a7, queen takes e5. It will be too late for these 2 pawns. This will not move, yeah, because the king is in danger. Bishop into e3 back, queen b5, finding another. From queen a6 earlier, finding that line, another b5, step by step. King g1, second rank, attacking the rook. Pressure after pressure. Queen f1, rook g8. There's a reason why he captured that pawn on n6 to open up. And now you feel like, wow, that king h8 move earlier was a prophylactic move. What a vision. What a vision by Nodirbek. Finding king h8 at the early part of the game. King h1, just takes the queen, and rook takes f3. Game over. Of course, you cannot take the rook on f3. Black will just promote to a queen, and mate is coming up. What else can you do? If you go back to D1, if you go back to D1, we have a checker vintage 3. Side file mate. What a game. What a game by Nodirbek. He leads the tournament with 5.5 out of 7 without any loss. 4 wins and 3 draws. This guy is on fire. Okay, he's ahead by a point. There are 3 front runners as well. We have Wesley. We have who else? Pragnananda is also 4.5, by the way, and Giri. Wow. Okay, a point behind the leader, Nodirbek. Nodirbek is building on his lead after the halfway mark with 5.5 out of 7. All right, thank you guys for supporting our channel, Chartsmax Chess and Chartsmax Entertainment on Facebook and YouTube. We will continue our coverage of the TATA Steel Masters 2023 in the days to come. This is Coach Oliver once again. Stay safe, everyone, and have a good day. Bye-bye.